Alright, hello everyone, how's everyone doing? I didn't expect this topic to be my first talk about mentality, and that's inting for stacking. Like a friend of mine said, stacking is a disease, alright? Why do I want to talk about int for stacking? There's this like mindset going on that stacking is the most important thing when it comes to like dishing out damage, healing, and blah blah blah, alright? Like all the rest, which might make you apparently like really strong. There's a truth to that. If you wanna get like the full benefits of like a stacking item, it's like always like really good to just like almost fully stack, and that's where the problem already comes from, right? There are a lot of people in this game who forcing their way to stack. What do I mean? They're trying to stack against every enemy without thinking. Why do I say that? I say that because dying in this game can be really bad, especially against like the wrong enemies who just like trying to stop you to stack. And if you die against these like certain Pokemon, you are losing early game. A lot of people who int for stacks, you're the reason why the early game phase is absolutely bad. The more you die, the more experience you give. Like one death almost equals like one big NDD, alright? That's like no joke. So why is it bad? I talked about like experience and level like in my basic video. The more experience you give by dying to the enemy, the worse it's gonna be in the long run, right? Because you're feeding experience into your enemy's mouth. And if you do that, the more experience the enemies get from you by dying, the easier it is for them to reach the power spike compared to you, because you're gonna fall behind. What does it mean? If the enemy reaches their power spike, it means like they will be like way stronger at first of all securing, second harassing in lane, and the third zoning you out of like everything. If your Pokemon needs these stacks and benefits more like in late game and you int in early game, you're gonna fall behind like so fast. It's gonna be like so hard to like catch up on like experience and level. The more the enemies are gonna snowball because of you. I don't know if like people are not like really conscious about their actions, but like the more you feed, the stronger the enemies are gonna get, right? That counts for int for stacking as well. And if you wanna get to like an even ground in most cases, it's like really hard, especially if you're like if your team is behind. You dying by stacking or like kinda ruins the early game laning phase, because everything about this game is about level and experience, right? In order for you to like get better in this game, but like the mon you play, it's not about like stacking. It's about like the knowledge you have about this mon. Playing the mon really good benefits you in the long run. So let me open my paint. There we have it. Okay, I have to apologize for my handwriting with my mouse, but it's like absolute bad. Let's talk about the skill level in this game like in general. Items and emblems are not what define like how good you are with the mon. They're only like an addition to your playstyle you wanna play. They are not like a necessity to be successful. Let me explain. So a majority of your skill comes from like playing a mon. So that means like around like 80% of your skill level comes from like how you play the Pokemon, alright? This is already like 80% of like the whole mon. What does it mean with like 80%? It means like if you know the Pokemon really well, then you can already like play the game in general, right? You don't really need like items to like play like really well. The other 20%, they come from like adding items and emblems, alright? These two things, they add to the whole Pokemon, okay? So if you know the Pokemon in and out and how to play this like really well, then the items and emblems, they add as like an additional way to add to your playstyle, right? When it comes to this game, compared to like other like MOBAs, for example a League, where items are way more important, right? You can adjust your items to like different situation. That's like what we don't have in this game, right? So we don't have this like situation where it's like 50-50 on like how you play the Pokemon and when you add items and emblems, right? The 50-50 doesn't exist in this game. So having like really good like Pokemon knowledge is all you need to just like be good at the game. Items and emblems shouldn't be like your priority if you wanna like play this game, if you wanna like get better. Let's come back to the topic. Why is inting for stacking bad? Let me demonstrate this like with like simple math, alright? Everyone knows simple math. So we have this one, right? This is plus, and plus equals what? Yes, plus, right? And then we have the second one, and that's like minus and plus, alright? So this is like the math rules we kind of know like in school. Okay, so I defined it again with like positive and negative. So what does everything like kind of mean to you? Why did I draw math? So the first operator, alright, the first one here, And this one, alright, this is our first operator we're gonna define. We're gonna define the first and the second operator for like positive and negative, right? We define the first operator if you're alive or dead, and the second operator is like just like your stacking operator. When we apply this like to a simple math I did here, it means like you being alive and being able to stack is always a positive. That means like you always gain experience without like giving out experience to the enemy. So the second one means like you're dead, but you were able to like stack. It ends up in a negative. Why? First of all, you gave the enemy like experience and you're gonna fall behind. Why? The enemies gained experience from you dying, plus the minions they're gonna farm in your lane by you being dead. That's why Inting for stacks is really bad, because you're like giving experience to the enemy and then it's hard to like keep up to get the benefits of your stacking item, right? So you're kind of neutralizing yourself to even like feel any of the benefits, especially if you're behind. If you're behind and you're fully stacked, you still won't feel any strength. Like stacking in general is more like a placebo effect for people to think that they're gonna be like really strong and be able to carry, but like we already said like in the beginning, most of the knowledge comes from like knowing the Pokemon itself. If you know how to play the Pokemon in general, then stacking is not really like necessary. The thing is like if you know how to play the Pokemon and you're stacking properly, you're gonna like benefit like 100% way more than just to like die and fall behind all game. I hope you got like a better understanding why I think int for stacking is not the greatest, especially if you wanna have a better early game. That's it with me. I hope you liked the video. I'm gonna see you next time. Bye. Bye bye.